Well, let's get to canning up the Quebec pork meatballs. So what you're going to be needing is, and let me remind you, I'm going to be doing a half recipe right now. But in the description down below, I'll be sure to give you the full recipe. Let's go ahead and add the sausage. And let's add the other one. Alright, let's add the onion. Let's add the garlic. Let's add the parsley. Let's add the canning salt. Let's add the baking soda. Let's add the black pepper. Let's add the mustard. Let's add the allspice. Let's add the cinnamon. And if you wish, add the mace. I'm going to leave that out of mine. Now, let's go ahead and with our hands, let's go in and mix that all up. Alright, let's mix this all up. I'll see you when I have this all mixed up and we're ready to make them luscious little Quebec meatballs. Okay, I brought my cookie sheet over here and I have it lined up with some foil, and now make whatever size of meatballs you want. I'm gonna make maybe about 3/4 inch, maybe an inch in size meatballs, and just keep filling up your tray, and we're gonna sit there and put them in the oven and we'll bake them. I'll be back as soon as I have a tray full of meatballs ready for the oven. Okay, now this is where the recipe that I found this at, and I differ. Now, the Barden website will sit there and tell you to sit there and put these in a heavy skillet with some oil and fry these up on your stove top. Well, I don't want to add more oil. Sausage is greasy enough the way it is. So I'm choosing to sit there and put my meatballs here inside of a hot 350-degree oven, and I'm gonna cook them for, I think, probably about 7 minutes, and then I'm gonna come and check them. And after them 7 minutes and it's all nicely browned, as I'm hoping it's gonna turn out to be, we're gonna sit there and turn these over and brown the other side as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these inside of the oven. So we'll see you in about, I'll say 15 to 20 minutes. Alright, I'm going to be flipping them, but before I flipped them, I just wanted to show you. Look at all this grease. It is, I have it where it's draining over to one corner, but I just wanted to show you the amount of grease that was already inside of the pork sausage. That's why I disagreed with the recipe when it was telling me to fry them up in some oil. I don't want all this oil on my food because canning and grease do not go hand in hand. Okay, again, I had to show you the amount of grease that came out of the meatballs. And as you see, right now, I put the meatballs on a plate along with the paper toweling so I could sit there and help draw more of that grease off of the meatballs, well, I'm taking this over to the garbage and draining the grease that is already on my baking sheet into the old garbage can. Alright, let's go ahead and put the meatballs all back onto the baking tray and finish baking them for about 7 minutes again, and then they should be ready to be put into our canning jars. Let's bring the meatballs out of the oven and put them back onto the plate back here that I have with some paper toweling. As you see, the meatballs have browned up beautifully. So let's go ahead and just remove them and place them all onto the paper toweling to drain off more of that grease. I have 2 cups of hot water here, and now let's add 2 teaspoons of the Better Than Bouillon beef base. And now you're just going to want to sit there and mix that all into the water. So I'll be back as soon as mine's all done mixing in. Okay. Let's just set that off to the side. And now, as you see, I took our meatballs and I drained off more of the grease. And now we're just going to sit there and put the meatballs all into the canning jars. And you're going to allow 1 1/4 inch headspace. Okay, I'm going to add the liquid broth that we made. So let's go ahead and pour some of the broth in. And I'm trying not to make a mess here, folks. And that's about an 1 1/4 from the top, but we'll know further after we debubble. So go down and debubble. Okay, I'm going to sit here and wipe the rim of our jar. I dipped my paper toweling into some vinegar and go ahead, wipe the whole rim of your jar. Grab a canning lid and canning ring and go ahead and put your canning ring on until it does that, and that's finger tight, folks. Now we're going to sit there and put these into your pressure canner. Pressure can these at 10 pounds of pressure for 75 minutes.